Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. And minutes, guys? You had a chance to look at the minutes. Any questions, any thoughts?
I'll have to ask him.
If they're okay, I'll take a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. We go ahead and approve the minutes.
Here's the minutes.
Okay, Stan. There you go. Okay, Tony, we're ready for you.
First thing I have is monthly insurance claims from Allied in the amount of $54,973.64. 54,973.64.
We got it broken down. We got RX and medical both.
This one is medical here with some stop loss reimbursement on this
You
one.
got some on that?
This is the weekly though, you've got the monthly.
Yeah, okay. That's a monthly report. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that we go ahead and approve 54,973.64 for Allied.
Okay, the next health insurance is the Allied Weekly, and that is medical with stop loss reimbursement and such, which makes the total of the claim $16,928.47. 16,928.47.
You said that was all medical?
Yeah, well, there you go. We printed out a little differently because Bree's out of the office today, so I had to do it. You know what that's like when you got it done.
Yeah, we got a stop loss reimbursement of 24,379.61. Our medical was 18,773.55, but our pharmacy was 22,534.53. So that's where we come up with 16.
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Motion's been made and seconded then to approve the claim of 16,928.47.
all right. And next we have accounts payable claims that are paid as on 3/31. And the amount is $524,867.79. $524,867.79.
I just had if we could, a couple questions on a couple items, and if you'd want to.
I can answer them, I will.
One was the Youth Opportunity Center. I'm not sure what that is. For
That's
9520.
That's at,
I wonder if that's a name for something else that you guys help fund.
yeah, we do, I know. I was trying to think, it goes to, we pay that to a fee to, for housing
It's something that
underage.
Is that for
other
Parks?
entities.
Is that for
also-
Park Center in Fort Wayne, maybe?
I think it's,
Could be.
isn't it, don't we have a facility that we have people housed maybe in Marion?
Yeah,
Because I
there's-
know,
No,
don't we pay a
it's-
fee to hold a room for us, or to hold a
Yeah.
couple?
yeah, so this could be any of
We
those
have to
things,
pay a daily rate.
but I'll look that up when I get back upstairs, Stan, I'll let you know exactly what it is, but I think it's just a routine thing that comes
It
out.
is. It's one that we have.
And what's the Purdue 114.5?
We pay Purdue for our share
quarterly?
of the county
Yeah.
extension agent. So we've got a
I
contract
think
with
that's a
Purdue.
quarterly payment. I
That's a
believe it
quarterly
is.
payment
I believe it is.
Oh, is it a I thought that was an annual
For the Purdue or for the
for
youth?
Purdue.
Rex, are you still talking about the youth opportunity? or
Is
you-
is Purdue annual? Is that
I think
under
it's
Purdue annual? Okay.
Yeah, because I always thought that was about our budget for annual.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's our contractual services for what?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is,
Okay.
yeah.
yeah.
Let's see. Man,
I think Brad, you took the winning highway department.
Again?
Yep, you did, yeah, you're expensive. Yeah, we spent, well, our claims are 138,000 on it, so we, yeah,
Then we had Adams County Regional Sewer District for 60,000.
Yeah.
that's annual,
That's normal payment.
yeah.
Okay. And then, US Bank Corp Government and Leasing and Finance.
We do, remember that? There was
Came
like that
through IT,
75,
that came through IT
Yeah.
in regards to wiring and
right.
it's gonna be paid for 5 years.
I see.
That was that one for 75,000?
70, yeah, for 70,000.
Remember that one, Stan? 70-some thousand, so like
Yeah.
75,000?
Yeah.
And then a couple just little small ones. We've got, for Jim Vogelweed and Ed Dyer, we've got like 1056 and
It might have been lunch, I don't know.
$20 and
Partly could be
24.
mileage, it could be little piece of equipment.
Okay.
I don't have.
I didn't know if they turned in mileage or,
Well,
They do.
yeah,
They do,
yep.
yeah.
And what was the other one, Jim, and what?
Ed Dyer, 8888.
I think that was for
I know he went to that seminar.
piece of, well, he did, yeah, he went to a seminar. The state called, Treasurers.
It was a state-sponsored treasurers
Conference.
conference.
Yep.
And then Mary had one for $8.45.
Yeah, that could be,
I'm not sure what that was.
Okay. I was just curious.
I mean, Bree would have gotten those claims, but it's not listed on here. I can find that out.
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
okay, motion's made and seconded to go ahead
That
and
could
approve
have
the
been, you know, that
claims.
could have been mileage too.
It could have been.
For taking stuff back and
mileage,
forth for
yeah.
wrong.
524,867.79.
Now that I think about it, very well could have been mileage.
Thank you, guys.
The only other thing that I have right now is payroll claims for 3/19/21, $322,083.01, 3/22/083/01.
That's to be
That's the
paid,
payroll claims.
that's to be paid when? 3/31,
Or it was from 3/19.
3/19?
And that's pretty typical.
Yep.
I'd make.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah,
Motion to
322,083.01, so I need a motion on that.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made and seconded to go ahead and approve the payroll claims.
Alrighty, and the only other thing that I had listed under this was something from last week, and that was a replacement on the advisory board. But if you want to save that till the end for county attorney, because probably need to discuss how you're going to interview, I would assume.
I would assume based on the circumstances.
And I don't think that's
surrounding
going to be
it,
today, so
Yeah. Did Mark say he was gonna be here?
I haven't talked to him.
Okay, anything else?
I don't think that has to be done today.
Okay. Tim,
One minor item on the agenda.
you want me to read it first?
I don't,
Go ahead.
I don't think he's on the agenda. I don't think we want to accept that.
Regretfully.
Yeah.
I will read this. After much thought and consideration, I will be resigning my position as Adams County Engineer. I'm at a point in my engineering career that I need to look at how I want to complete it. I believe that I am ready to move to the private sector for that completion. You want me to go ahead and say what a position you have accepted? Okay. I've accepted a position with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, a firm that has served Adams County well over the past 50 plus years and hopefully more. My last day has not been determined, however, it will be near the end of April. So it was an honor and a privilege to serve in this capacity the past years which I think is what, 17? Or is it
Just a few more,
just a few more than that?
28 and a half.
28 and a half. Boy, I was wrong. Wow. Okay, I have enjoyed the
Flew
time.
by.
Yes, I did.
I've enjoyed the time and projects that have been completed during my tenure as county engineer, and I hope that I've left the road and bridge infrastructure in a better condition than when I arrived. Well, you certainly have, and we really want to express our appreciation for what you've done for us, Tim. You were very much a great asset to the county, and I feel bad.
I have enjoyed it.
Well, and I
It's
have
not
to
very
say,
often that you can work at a job and enjoy it at the same time and get paid.
yeah,
Well, we certainly were better off with having you around. That's definite. I just appreciate everything you've done,
Appreciate your,
you
tribute.
know.
well, about a year ago, when we were reviewing salaries, I did a survey of 7 other counties in the area. And I got nothing but good reports on you and the work you're doing, and found out that you've kept us in the top 5% of the state as far as counties for sufficiency ratings, and maybe higher than that. Or the top 5 counties, I should say, or maybe even closer to the top than that. That's pretty impressive to see results like that, and it made me proud to have you in Adams County and keep us in good shape.
I appreciate the opportunity,
Yeah,
and actually wouldn't have been able to do all of that without county council's funding.
yeah, so,
County council did have a good line in allowing me to do what needs to be done.
well, and I think once council understood, the quality of work you do and the quality of employee that you are, I think then it put things in perspective as far as, the wage that you deserved. So, once council understood that, I think it was an easy decision.
But it was good career.
Yeah, so, yeah. So is it just working with Brad that drove you out?
I plead the fifth.
That did kind of happen close together there, didn't it?
No, that was not it. It's just how I want to finish my career.
Yeah, yeah,
I will be able to just kind of ease into retirement.
yeah,
Doing what I will be doing with them. So.
yeah,
Well,
appreciate it.
we do respect that decision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very good.
And so there's nothing much we can add to that, Tim, unless you got something.
Nothing more today, other than, there's still projects out there that I will be working for completion. I'll obviously be working with Brad to get him on board. He's going to have to do some training through NDOT for the employee responsible charge. You'll have to take that over until you can hopefully fill the position.
A couple of the responsibilities that you had taken on, whether it was voluntarily or involuntarily, one of them was overseeing the South Adams Trail project. And
It was
so will that be part of the new engineer's position, do you feel?
correct. It'll be Brad until you fill that position. There has to be an employee with Adams County that is certified to be the employee responsible charge
Yeah.
for these projects. All federal aid projects have to have a designated person,
Okay.
and I was the unfortunate.
Now,
I was the only one available.
the other thing, once again, voluntary or involuntarily, you were our ADA compliance officer, so that would again fall to the new,
To someone, yeah.
to someone, yeah.
Yep.
So, to someone,
That was your choice.
okay,
So, but, it has been a good time here.
yeah, good. Are there other things that you did that we don't know about?
I suppose, but it was just that, is that the commissioner's request that, I would do certain things, and Just part of the job,
Yeah,
so.
very good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Brad, you're up. Can you follow this?
All of that.
I
You
don't-
better not follow that with another.
Here, one of these mine.
I do want to publicly say thank you to Tim. I mean, I've only been here a little over a year, but he has been a huge help for me. I mean, Tim could say there was a lot of days he'd hear that knock on his door and he was always there to help when I had questions.
Yeah,
I do super appreciate what Tim did.
Yeah,
And I will also do, at the best of my abilities to try and fill in and do what needs to be done so we can keep the good work going.
yeah, we appreciate
Well,
that too. Yeah, thank
your
you.
responsibility will be to lock the door so he can't get out.
Yeah,
Hope it doesn't lock from the inside.
but the good thing is it'll be a phone call away and, we'll still get to work with him hopefully every now and then. All right. I guess the first thing I have today is last week handed out the annual operations report. And if you guys had a chance to go over them, if you have questions, I'll try and answer them when I can. And then we'll need, hopefully, if you guys approve that, then I'll have you guys sign them and then we can get them turned in.
I thought you did a good job, self-explanatory from my perspective anyway, so I didn't see any.
I mean, it's really all laid out right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I
What
didn't
comes
see
in, what
any.
comes out, and that kind of thing, so.
So it's whatever you guys, so we just need to make it a matter of record. Okay,
Accept.
questions?
No, I have no questions.
Okay. You want to make a motion then on it? Okay, Steve made the motion.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. We go ahead and enter the report in the matter in the minutes.
Did Becky help you with this?
Right here?
Yeah, each of you will sign a line.
Okay.
And that's the other thing, just the amount of learning I've been doing. Like I said, I lean on Tim a lot, but the ladies in the office, without them,
They have, yeah.
this job wouldn't be,
Oh, that was
or at
mine.
least this side of it would not.
Yours should be over there, hopefully.
And then the only other thing I guess we can talk about while you guys are signing that. The guys started hauling stone last week, a week ago today, and they have hauled we have hauled 4,000 tons of stone on all the stone roads. So the guys are out hitting it hard, getting the stone roads in shape. They're really coming around. Things look good. And then also before that, you brought up that number that we had a hard hit. Well, we have stockpiled a lot of stone also in preparation for summer. We like to build our piles up that way. If we start before the quarries open, we have it there and they can load up and at least get started in the morning. And the only other thing I really have, just a reminder that dust control applications, we'll start taking them Thursday, which will
Okay.
be April 1st. So,
What's the cutoff date on that again?
May 14th.
May 14th?
And that's all I got.
Have you got any more information on your fuel tanks?
They came last Friday. I spoke with them, and they actually gave me some other ideas on how we can approach the system.
The co-op did?
It was R.W. Mercer.
Oh, I see.
It was a different company. They came in and gave us some other options. So they are working on that. And hopefully I have some information here within a week or two from them on maybe a different approach on things. So, but I've also done my homework on the other side of it. And, if we don't go with that route, we have a place we can go get fuel, and it won't be a big deal to set it up that way if we need to. So,
Okay.
Good.
yeah, we're still exploring that.
Well, looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah. Yep, me too.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, Rick.
I just have a couple of things. One is our permits for our elevators has been purchased and installed, so we're good for
We're
another
good.
year.
We're good to go.
Good to go. The other thing I want to bring up, I just want to touch base with you guys. We have an air handler that it's probably gonna need to be, well, I know it's going to. It's gonna need to be replaced in Superior Court. Due to routine changing the filters, it started making a noise, thought maybe it was the belt. Well, the bearing was out of it, and now it's ruined the shaft. We tried and tried, there's just no way of getting that out of there. So we're gonna have to drop that whole unit out of there. I'm meeting with Judd again at noon, lunchtime, so we don't interfere with court.
Oh, there's no way to get the shaft out of there?
No, it's just so seized in there and froze. I don't know how old that unit is. But, so hopefully I'll be able to get some hard numbers today or no later than tomorrow. Get that thing replaced. It's probably something that I'll have to do after hours, probably after 4:30, so we don't interfere with anything. So, little heads up on that.
So if he comes through, gives you a quote on that, an anticipated time to put that in too.
Yeah,
So find out and then give us, give me a call
okay.
on that, because we may have to have that done before the dollar amount, before we approve the dollar amount, because it could probably be over 2,500.
You say that was Superior Court?
Superior Court.
Will you be able to put that in, or will Judd have to?
Well, I'm gonna try to help him, but Judd will have to. We have to disconnect. I mean, there's 3 phase going in there. There's some PVC pipe and everything. I mean, we're gonna have to cut it down out of there. It's got the thread alls on top. It's just, I'm gonna have to tear some.
So it's up
ceiling.
in the attic or something, or?
Well, it's kind of dropped down and it's just built around it with a drop ceiling in it.
Huh.
So hopefully I can salvage all that.
Yeah.
This is what we can do.
That's something that has to be done.
Yeah,
We
it's
can't,
gotta be
it
fixed.
has to be done as quickly as we can get it done. Right.
As soon as I get that, I'll.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Well, we're running ahead, so Sandy Brown's on next. She's not here right now, so anyway, Mark Wynn is on at 11. So Ben, I told you we may be early. You want to come up?
That's perfectly fine.
Hey, come on, you can come on down.
You're the next agenda on the Price is Right.
Good morning.
We don't have any prizes, you didn't dress up funny enough,
I know, exactly. Come on down. Well, good morning. Ben Beer with USI Consultants. I wanted to say a few words about Tim, if you wouldn't mind, just while I could. Just jotted down a few notes there, kind of my experience. One is, it's big shoes to fill. Is one of the longstanding county engineers in the state. He's really a rare find and a rare breed in that he's got a PE and, a licensed surveyor too. That's very, very difficult to find these days. In fact, my brother's one of them, but there's just not a lot of those out there. So, you guys have been the beneficiary of that. He's designed and managed a lot of projects over the years. He's really been a great steward and representative of your county resources. It's been my honor to work with him. We definitely haven't done a lot or even remotely everything with the county, but Tim's always been very approachable, very fair, very professional in everything he does. And I would just lastly say, I'm glad to help, during the transition, with Brad and with the county, if that's a need. I know Tim's going to be around, but I just want to publicly say congratulations. I really appreciate working with him. You guys are losing a great engineer there. So on to Ben Beer. So in USI, if I could say a few things. So I'm business development with USI Consultants. We're Indianapolis-based engineering company, civil engineering, land surveying. I'm actually electrical engineer, the lowly electrical engineer on staff, but I've been in business development with them for about 12 years now. I live over in Bluffton. I've been in Wells County for 30 years now.
My wife's family, I think I mentioned you guys, is an Adams County gal, so I have roots here. My wife's family, she was an Ish, was an Adams Central grad, so, it feels like home to us. We've done some work in the county in the past. We're the firm that did the design for the rehabilitation of the Sealand Covered Bridge. We had some expertise in that area, and we were able to be involved with that design, which was really cool. Turned out very neat. It's amazing, actually, the way they went about doing the rehab work. We also were tangentially related, involved with the South Adams Trail, in that we did the design of the rehab of the old railroad truss that's being used for the pedestrian bridge. So again, this is kind of a niche expertise of ours, is the rehabilitation of some of those historic structures. And then we actually did your countywide bridge inspections, not the current cycle, but the cycle before. And it's kind of why I'm here today, just to give you a few words on that. I would say of everything we do, that's probably the service that we're most recognized for. We do about 25 counties right now in the state of Indiana. It's usually between us and a company called United Consulting, kind of go back and back in terms of who's leading the state in terms of the most counties served. We've touched, I just asked our lead guy on this yesterday, about 62 counties we've had some kind of involvement with the bridge inspection. Either we're the lead firm or, maybe we were a sub to someone else. Another little bit unique thing about us is we are pre-qualified in all the categories that you need for bridge inspection. So whether it's just regular inspections, sometimes there's special things like fracture critical on a truss. Underwater, we actually have our own diving team. So there's a variety of specific load rating, scour. There's a variety of pre-qualification categories that you have to be eligible to submit on these. We just so happens we're pre-qualified in all those, which means for you guys, and you may say, why do I care? We really don't have to use any subs other than we will use a DBE sub to satisfy that requirement. Every federal aid project has an associated disadvantaged business entity sub that you have to fulfill. So for your guys' NBIS, National Bridge Inspection Services, that will just have a DBE sub. Tim really hasn't used this because he's unique and he knows his bridges better than anyone else, but a lot of our clients find value in, and your guys' bridges are in pretty good shape, so again, it may not be that valuable to you, a very comprehensive bridge and structure improvement plan that if you're our bridge inspection client, we do for free. And that's a really, really deep dive into 5 years, 10-year look of your bridges, your small structures. What's the priorities? What's the funding mechanisms? It's a planning tool. What are you guys planning to do in the future? Again, it really hasn't resonated, or you had the need with Tim here. He managed that, but that is something unique that we do. And I think that's kind of it. I would leave you with two. I always leave this with clients is a salesman can tell you anything, but I would encourage you to talk to your neighbors, talk to Wells County, talk to Allen County. We've had their 400 bridges for 2 cycles. We've had Wells County for 3 cycles. Butler, Fairman, and Seifert is doing theirs now, but I think you'll get good feedback. And I always encourage people to ask around, what's been your experience with USI, and, talk to your fellow counties, and I'd be glad to give references. And with that, glad to take any questions that you might have. And we're definitely going to be submitting a letter of interest here soon. And yeah.
I just have a dumb question. When you talk about cycles, is it a 1-year cycle? Do we do this? It's a 4-year cycle. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
And the way they work, Commissioner Stoppenhagen, is every 2 years you inspect all the bridges. So they kind of come up with the lingo of the first year is phase 1, the third year is phase 2,
And then if you have any deficient bridges in year 3, in years 2 and 4, you only inspect the deficient bridges. So 1, 1A, 2, and 2A. But basically, all your bridges are going to get inspected twice in that 4-year cycle. And not to confuse, but a recent thing they did, they made an offer to the counties, and I don't think you guys are doing that. If you want, the state of Indiana's got like 2/3 of all the counties have their bridge inspections in the same calendar year. So there's always this glut of new contracts, and there's a big overload getting that through the state. So recently the state reached out and said, hey, counties, would you be willing to do a 2-year contract so that gets kind of level loaded more over the 4-year period? I don't think you guys are doing that, but that's just one exception. There's a few places in the state where they're just doing a 2-year contract so they can start leveling that out. So.
Good.
Any
Thank you.
any other questions I might add? Answer. If not, appreciate the opportunity, and we'll definitely be putting our best foot forward. And I'll
Looking
leave
forward
some-
to that letter of interest, Ben.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I will leave some business cards.
Okay, thanks, Ben.
This is the bond thing for Baker Tilly. If there's anything I need to do, because we haven't had bonds.
Yeah, that was one thing I was told last year too. You know, with Tim, he was kind of cutting some of our bridge builders out, you know, because he was designing deck overlays, whereas a lot of engineers don't do that. They're contracting out.
You guys have been the beneficiary of that for sure. And you may find that if you don't have a county engineer, that you start using some consultants more for design, because
I didn't think it was
we
anything.
do design them also as aside from just inspection.
Sure.
Tim's been able to do that for a lot of years
Emails
successfully.
this morning, catch up.
Thanks, Cal.
Very good. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben. Can't send it to you again.
Sandy.
I'm here on behalf of SAFE today. For SAFE in Adams County, and April is Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Thank you.
And I was just coming to ask permission if we could do the celebration of
Thank you.
youth and children at the courthouse on April 7th at noon. We usually do a celebration. Judge Conrad's going to be the speaker,
Thank you.
and then we plan a pinwheel garden.
Thank you.
So,
Okay. Can't read my hand, thank you.
How long have we been doing this, Sandy? We've been doing this for several years now.
About 5 or 6.
5?
Thank you,
Yeah.
one too.
We
Okay.
leave them up throughout April and then kind of replace them as the wind blows. So, and then we'll take them down the end of it.
Yeah. Very cool.
We're doing that in conjunction with the Department of Child Services and the Children's Bureau this year out of Fort Wayne.
Yeah, Brooks.
The commissioners have supported that ever since they started, so, yeah.
Do we need a motion?
Yep.
So moved.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. We go ahead and allow you to do it again.
All right, thank you
Yeah,
very
I
much.
appreciate it. Appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Appreciate your help.
Yep. Okay, Mark is scheduled for 11, so Mark Murray. Good morning, sir.
I emailed Mark, but he didn't get it. When? I emailed him.
Oh, did you
I don't
email
know
him?
if he got it.
Okay, yeah, we can go to you, Mark.
All right, hang on here, let me see. I've got that,
Yeah,
appointment form for, the, Root Township Advisory Board vacancy. Did
okay.
you guys have a chance to talk about that?
We have not? Well, we waited until you, okay.
Okay. I think I sent you an email out that indicated that Lynn Selking was willing to do it. Do you
Yeah,
guys have another recommendation, or were you wanting to appoint him?
Oh, if he wants to do it.
Okay.
I didn't have anybody else. I think Lynn is a good, strong.
Yep, I think he served on there before. That's what Fred Kumpel said, and said he did a good job. So, and then obviously Lynn was on county council as well, so he's
Right.
familiar with county government. So
If it please the board, then I'd recommend that you have a motion to appoint Lynn Selking as a Root Township Advisory Board member commencing today, and it would continue until December 31st of 2022. He would be filling out the term of, I believe it was Richard Frable, that was a independent office holder on the Root Township Advisory Board, because he passed away and during his unexpired term, and because he ran as an independent, there's no other political party that can have a caucus to fill that vacancy. So by statute, once you're notified by the clerk, which we were notified last week, that there's a vacancy there, then the commissioners appoint to fill out that vacancy. And so he would fill out the remainder of that term. And so if you guys make a motion to approve that, then I'll have you sign a certificate of appointment and we'll file it with the clerk. If they require any other form that needs to be filed, we can get that and sign that as well, but at least this will show that you took action on it and you're filling that vacancy.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, we need a motion. Go ahead and accept that.
Make that motion.
Yeah, motion's been made and seconded.
All right, I'll send it down to you and, yep, Lynn Selking.
Okay, Mark, anything else?
I'm just kind of going over some emails here. No, I think that's it. I just got a stack of stuff to go over with Tony.
Okay. All right, well, we're waiting on, Mark Wynn.
Any progress on our tech committee, or do we?
On what?
Tech committee.
That's one of the things I
Oh,
got.
that-
Tony had some, and I think Bree had some changes to that, so I got to sit down with them
Thoughts on it anyway?
probably this week and see if we can
Okay.
finalize that. Do we have a meeting
Total
on,
charge.
is there a meeting on Thursday?
Probably will be. We haven't had one the last 2 weeks, so I'm assuming he probably is gonna have one.
Check and make sure I'm available.
Stan, you had a question on Ed's claim? You asked him what it was.
Oh, yeah, we had a claim for $88.88.
$88 or 88,000?
$88.88.
Nothing's big.
Oh, that was our mileage when I went down to
The conference.
the conference, the
Yeah.
treasurer's conference.
Gotcha, okay. All right.
Kind of weird that it figured out that way.
I thought, how did you make it come out that way?
It was just north of Indianapolis.
Yeah. It's like when you go to Rural King and they say, that'll be $100 each. It's like, how did I do that?
They should win a prize.
Yeah.
I will let you know, we got a second, I guess, that we just finished hand sorting and stuffing the envelopes of duplicates. We printed out over 20,000 parcels of property, and about half of them are duplicates, where people own more than one property in Adams County.
That's the actual code.
Yeah, I printed that off.
Thanks.
Ed, you can hand deliver them to,
People get antsy.
There, save you postage.
Well, and I know ours is too. You talk about, how do you change that?
Okay.
How do you change that? There's a,
36, 2,
Programs.
16, 4.
and mail service operators.
I'm sorry,
that you have.
36,
They work
2,
about
16.
4 people for a week solid.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it is very efficient
That's
and
mine anyway.
open not really safe. I don't want to
But
say
I,
it's not safe.
but I know I've got like 3 parcels. How would I change that to 1 parcel?
Are they continuous?
You can turn that into one parcel. It only save you maybe a ditch assessment. I mean, the taxes would.
Right, but I mean, it would save you from having to do duplicate
Yeah.
bills, tax
Or
bills.
do that in the assessor's office.
Okay.
When they do that, then they take 2 tax parcel numbers, they eliminate one of the tax parcel numbers and then reuse one of them or create a new one?
They don't reuse them, but.
They
yes.
create a new one then for,
There's a parent parcel and get the terminology right, but the parent parcel and then the extra parcel. And if they're continuous, they can put them all together in one.
okay.
And it maybe would save you like $25.
But if they're not continuous, you can't put
If
it
they're
in.
not continuous, no, they're 2 separate parcels. But and I'll be talking with you guys about this bail service situation that I think will save us time, money, and will be more, we'll have better results than what we're doing by hand now. There's 5 counties in Indiana that do it by hand still, and Adams County is one of them. And I told the ladies upstairs that I would go through that because they asked me not to change anything the first year. But I'm really looking serious at it for next year. But that's down the road.
Yeah.
While you and Tony are here, I know Rex brought up the ARP money. Is that something that you and the auditor's office are gonna be working on, how to handle that when that's distributed?
That's the ARP.
It's a,
American Relief,
Oh, yeah.
Recovery. American
We're
Recovery.
We're waiting for directions from the State Board of Accounts on exactly how they want us to do it. If it's gonna be a separate fund in the general account, or we could actually open up a complete separate account, which might be the way to go, because I don't think this will be the last that we get. It's the last for now, but I wouldn't be surprised, 2, 3,
But-
4 years, we'll get some more.
Well, but from what I understand, we'll get our first disbursement in May, and that's half, and then not less than 12 months later, we'll get our second disbursement. So that will have to be parked and accounted for somewhere. So I figured between you two, you'd probably have to,
We're still waiting from State Board of Accounts on the best way to do
They
that.
said there could still be amendments and changes. If it's anything like the PPP when it first rolled out, it's hard to tell. It was like building an airplane that was going down the runway.
but it'll almost have to be its own separate
That's a good
budget,
analogy.
probably, won't it?
It has to be a separate
Yeah.
It'll definitely be a separate fund. But it's-
That'd be hard to do.
It's really.
Yeah,
hard to
you're
put
sharp,
extra
Tony.
line in your budget. It's not a hard thing to do.
Well, it almost sounds like it'd be a whole separate budget. I mean, if we have to.
It's on a
account-
separate line item.
It's not part of the
It's a separate
certified
line
budget.
item.
It's its
Right.
own separate,
Yeah.
but,
Well,
but
that's
we
why I'm-
still, we've asked SBOA, and they really don't have clear answers yet because they're still learning as to how it interacts with everything. But
Will there be
We do
some
know.
point where we sit down with you and Ed and decide what our direction is for that?
commissioners and
It's gonna
council
be the
will
council
have to work
commissioners,
together
yeah.
because
Gotcha.
you guys can approve what it needs to be spent on in as commissioners. The
Sure.
council would approve the money, the fiscal part of it. And there's a lot of things to look at. And I think that's why they gave till the end of '24, because the recommendation that I've been seeing is don't rush into it. Just, don't be like a kid in the candy store. Let it sit until you get all that figured out. The attorney's going to have to come up with an ordinance. And is that a joint ordinance, Mark? Would it be commissioners and council joint ordinance? Or would it
Commissioners
be
are the one that have.
Yeah,
Commissioners.
is that for the ARP? Yeah, it'd be just
commissioners.
commissioners.
commissioners? So Ed and I've talked and been on the webinars together, and I think that the link to the webinars might have been sent to all 3 of you. Pretty sure.
I've got a link.
So you can hear exactly what we heard. And,
They said don't do anything yet.
right, it just be,
Wait for
don't,
more directions.
yeah.
But
But,
it's like any other money to come in. The treasurer's office will receive it,
Mhm.
account
Yep.
for it. The auditor's office will put it in the right area.
Yep.
And,
From a
you
budget
guys-
standpoint, but you'll find a place to park it while we make
Well, it'll
decisions.
be invested, it'll be short, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read through all that material on that ARP stuff, as far as the accounting controls and what you have to do as far as separate funds and spending, so I've looked through all of that. So there's
Several different areas.
it's pretty convoluted right now, but
It is.
probably one of the best things in there, we reviewed that here a week or so ago, indicates that you can, use the money for sewer improvements, water improvements, or
Broadband?
broadband infrastructure.
Nonprofit organization.
So,
Well, if at some point when you and Tony and Ed are so inclined to sit down with us, that'd be a nice discussion to have.
well, I think, and there's, I think already a committee out there through economic development that was looking at that anyway.
I would think there'd be a lot of people.
I'm sure everybody wants to spend money.
Yeah,
Piece of the pie.
yeah. As long as we don't spend it on bridges and roads, but yeah.
They
yeah.
still have money out there for that.
I have no doubt that there will be plenty of people that would like to.
Well, when you read the news or see what's on the news, it sounds like they're gonna be spending more money on infrastructure yet to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are they gonna get it?
Well, I would sure appreciate direction from you three gentlemen on how, as we move ahead.
I'll make sure it's accounted for, Tony will make sure it's in the right place and fund, and then it's kind of falls in you guys' court, you and the council.
Lots of different uses, just
Yeah.
take a lot of
Mark
discussion.
reply.
We'll
Mark
do what
reply,
you guys,
Mark Wayne,
Nope.
did you reply at all?
What's Mark's number? Everybody have Mark's number?
I don't have it.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Call him, tell him, come on in if you
The
want.
office is 5305.
I emailed him and he didn't respond, so he might be out in the field and it's his birthday today. Might be eating
Yeah,
cake.
it is his birthday, that's true, you're right.
Maybe he's going out to get a cake and bringing it in with him for everybody.
cake,
Could be.
Yeah, birthday cake.
oh,
It's Mark's birthday.
I thought you said cake. Well, probably not here.
Or did you have it?
No, I don't have it, I was just replying to the thing, call him. Yeah, give him a call.
Of course, he might be 10 minutes out from wherever he's at too. I know there's at least one thing he was bringing to us, a subdivision.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. If he doesn't come, Ben, we're gonna go out for lunch.
At the tone, please record your message. When you finish recording, you may hang up or press 1 or on.
Hi, Mark, this is Stan. He, just want to let you know, we're running just a little bit ahead of time, so if you have interest or would be able to come in anytime, you'd certainly be welcome. Thank you.
Very. Well, I don't have anything else. Do you, Tony?
No,
Maybe you-
at some point, I'm gonna have my job descriptions to be approved.
Do you want those to discuss now?
That's kind of up to Mark.
I've got them. I was going through,
We're looking at the chief deputy auditor.
I'm looking at that statute right now.
And whether that has to be a whole separate person that I bring in and they can be fired at will, or if you can name somebody in the office as chief deputy auditor,
I think you want to.
which I think is the correct.
Well, you can do either. It just says that
Did you get
the,
copies of them?
The new.
that I have the authority to appoint
Mhm.
a chief deputy and to appoint,
Yeah, each of the following county offices is entitled to appoint one first or chief deputy. Okay, so it says entitled to one.
Yep.
And also may appoint the number of other full-time or part-time deputies and employees authorized by the county fiscal body. So, and the offices that pertains to is the county auditor, the county treasurer, the county recorder, and the county sheriff. So, one of those, Ed has a chief deputy, and that's by statute. And
does
then
Tom.
And Tom
Dan.
has a chief deputy, and also so does the sheriff. So the auditor is one of those that is entitled to appoint one chief deputy. It just so happens that in the budget, the chief deputy compensation is set and is higher compensation than the other deputies in the office, so.
75%.
it's, no, that's sheriff.
Sure.
For us, it's about 4,000 more a year.
And the reason for that is the deputy, whoever's appointed as the chief deputy, then also has to take an oath and is sworn, and then has
Additional duties.
the same official responsibility of the auditor in the auditor's absence, and the same legal liability as the auditor in the auditor's absence, so. But looking through that statute, then I put all those job descriptions in a folder this morning. Let me pull it up.
And I think I had mentioned to you guys that when New Focus was here, there were some just actual mistakes back in 2018 where something was copied and pasted from one job description onto somebody else's, so that was completely wrong, and there were just a few things like that.
I've got copies. Did you want to make copies for Steve and?
I think Rex has some. Steve's the only one that doesn't have paper copy if you want to.
I can print them off here.
All right. Because I've got the
I
one.
had talked to Steve about it.
Well, are you ready to present those? I mean, you're not ready to present them today, are you?
Well, I probably will sit down and just go through them and highlight them with Tony, and then we can come back.
That's what I was thinking. There's no sense in, yeah.
I just figured since Mark's not here and we have time.
Well, I'll print them off here, and that makes sure all the commissioners have them.
I figure 3 years to
My-
relook at everything.
If my computer wouldn't die, I could do that.
They were done 3 years ago.
That's great.
If you want to, we can, I've got the copies Tony gave me, if we want to just run them through the copy machine.
Yeah, if you want to send them down here, I'll just copy them.
I assume that's probably the same ones you got, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, there were two that there weren't any changes on
You
at
made
all.
some changes, didn't you?
Erin, there were no changes on hers,
Okay.
and Lynn, there were no changes on hers. It was all the other ones that had some sort of mistake or whatever on it.
Okay, so I'll make sure.
I don't think Stan has those, though, does he?
Yeah, no, he doesn't have Lynn or
No, I
Erin's,
was gonna say
but
those.
those are,
So
I guess we could update them, but there's no changes on them.
settlement deputy is
Settlement deputy would be Christie.
finance deputy.
Finance
Bree.
deputy Bree. Angie is just a deputy auditor,
Okay.
and Lynn is the transfer deputy. And payroll HR is Erin's. But I didn't make any changes on Erin's or Lynn's.
And right
And then
now,
the chief deputy currently is Christie. So right now, as we speak, for Christie's duties,
is she doing
it's,
this and this?
no, she's just, right now, she's doing both, yes.
Yes, okay.
And that, if I make a change, that would go to whomever I make the change for. Does that make sense? Because they'd be getting that extra money
Okay,
to do those extra duties. The chief deputy's job is not this,
okay.
it's that, on top of what they do. Because I don't want to bring in somebody from the outside.
Okay, so the two
Plus
that
Tim
we
has
got,
time on his hands.
the two that we haven't changed, we're okay on. We don't need to do anything with them. They've already been done.
It's all women except me in the
Right, Mark?
office, so I could use some help.
So I don't need to, do I need to make a copy here of the deputy auditor? I don't need to do that, do I?
No, well, yeah, because that's one of the changes, because originally under, Angie, these duties here were listed as the same as Breeze. So,
Gotcha, okay.
and that's not accurate. And I didn't particularly,
Well, the two you're not making any changes on, we're okay with.
yeah,
They've already
Lynn
been
and,
approved.
Lynn and
Those have been
Aaron
approved.
are fine, and
Yeah, you could approve the job description for the deputy auditor and the job description for the settlement deputy. Is that right?
you can actually approve all of them. It's just that I didn't print the other two out because there were no changes on them, on Lynn's and Aaron's.
Well, technically, they've already been approved.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, this would just be-
the three changes.
these are the ones that there were some either errors or changes that I,
Well, but this one here, this chief deputy auditor, is this in a form now that whoever's appointed chief deputy will be doing all of this?
Yep.
And then whichever
Yes.
other description you've
Yep.
got?
Yep.
Okay,
that's correct. Yep.
if that's the case, then yeah, you could approve them. and then-
Approve those?
Yep. Do you already have copies?
Well, and I don't know if Steve has.
Everybody but Steve. But I could
Rex.
email them to him if you.
Not of the ones that, I don't have one of them after you made the changes.
Yeah, I'll just make copies here.
Okay. I
Didn't
thought,
you just,
yeah, I think I
you
did.
just,
I emailed them to you,
you did?
but we can print them out again.
I print them out.
And if you
I
need
thought,
the other-
I thought those were the, I thought that was the old ones you gave me too.
I can't remember what I gave you as well, but.
You gave me, I know you gave me the old ones and these said you were gonna change these.
Yeah, and I think Stan actually has the new ones, the paper copies.
Yeah, because you just gave him two.
Yeah, yeah. I had discussed it with Steve prior to some other meeting, whatever, the time clock meeting. Had discussed it with him, but I had not gotten him the, copies of them.
Any report on the time clocks?
Well, we're waiting on Lau to find a time to meet, and go forward with, we sent them some policies to begin looking at, because we're gonna, as we go through it, Mark is going to be involved to help fix or update or whatever you will on county policy manual. Because it's gotta reflect what the time clock is going to do. Does that make sense?
You determined that you were gonna go with 4. Has that been pretty well set or not?
As of right now, we figured 4. Could that change? Yeah. I mean, once you start getting into it, and it was recommended that you do 1 or 2, you do them a little at a time, because if you threw all of that all at once, it's gonna be a mess. So if you start it a little slower and get, work through the bugs.
Thank you.
But they have the stuff, and we're waiting on them to get back with us to set another meeting date. Get in?
I ended up with all of his paper clips.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about paper clips.
You guys make a motion, I'm just gonna put that you made a motion, I'm not gonna. Thanks for printing those, Mark.
Went from double to single because.
Yeah, Rex, I just left Mark a voicemail. He didn't answer.
No, I know you did, yeah. Yeah, if he doesn't show up by the time we get this done, I think this is the last thing on the agenda. We'll just
He
adjourn.
had some subdivision he was gonna bring.
I know he does, but
Let me call up to the office.
if he doesn't show up, we won't
Have to
be
wait.
doing it.
Right. Forgot in all the weekday celebration.
Maybe we should have a birthday cake down here. Maybe he come down and look and saw no cake. He said they don't care, huh?
Maybe.
Hey, good morning. This is Stan Stoppenhagen. Hey, good. Hey, is Mark working today? Gotcha. We had him on the agenda for 11 o'clock this morning at our commissioner meeting. And I didn't know if he was planning on coming down or not.
Set for somebody?
Okay.
Is that all set?
Yep.
I got another one here, I'll hand them down to Steve.
Gotcha, okay. Okay, yeah, I tried to call him on his cell phone, didn't answer, so, yeah, give him a call, and maybe let us know one way or another, if he's still coming in.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
probably smart.
so he's coming up from Geneva, so, okay.
Good to ask.
Well, hopefully the river didn't rise and he's stuck down there. All right,
I will set to my office.
all right, thank you. Bye.
He's in that position. Aaron doesn't do that. Certainly. Has to be decided.
Okay, so this one here. Right there. You decided yet?
Hello?
Is that what we're talking
I
about?
am waiting until all this is done
Hello?
to make a decision to let them know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Angie, we got to change on Angie.
I was afraid if it was written the way it was written, that
Change
somebody
up.
back and say, no, those are my duties.
Okay.
Christie a change.
All right.
And this is
Yep.
new.
Bye.
I mean, everybody basically is keeping the same duties they have now. It's just that
You
whoever the
redefine.
chief deputy is will have added to them those duties.
Okay,
Yeah,
Mark-
the only,
Mark's
the only
already-
change that you should make here would be on the chief deputy auditor, and I'll work with Tony on that. But on that particular job description, I think it needs to be clear that that's an appointed position, and it's filled by the auditor in the auditor's discretion, and can be removed in the auditor's discretion. So, now, if they've already come, if they're an existing employee, then, you know, at any time, you would have the right, you could name somebody else.
Yeah.
As the chief deputy.
Yep.
If they come in from the outside, they can be relieved completely.
Yep. Yep.
So if, in other words, if they are not an existing employee and you hire a chief deputy, then that chief deputy can be let go at any time for no reason at all.
Yep.
If they're already an employee and you make an existing employee a chief deputy, then you can remove that position of chief deputy, which would mean the chief deputy pay would go away, but you wouldn't
They'd still be.
discharge them unless you had a reason for discharge.
Exactly.
Now, the problem that you get into is, you know, you could have a new auditor could come in and say, I want my own chief deputy from outside. And now either the county council is going to have to approve a whole new full-time
whole new
position, or
thing,
they're
yeah.
going to say you only get 4 people in the office, and if you bring an outside in, you got to let one person has to be let go. So that creates kind of a quandary, but that's what the statute says.
And I don't know that that's ever,
you want us to act on this one separately then, the chief deputy?
I say on the chief deputy, I don't want you to approve that one because I need to add the language in here
Okay,
that states that.
all right,
The rest of them, though, can be approved.
okay.
okay.
So we're approving,
So,
And maybe next week. we can
Angie,
do the-
Bree, and Christie, right?
well, I don't think you want to use the names. You just say
Okay,
you're
just-
approving the
Okay,
the deputy
job
auditors.
description for,
job description, settlement deputy auditor, finance deputy auditor, and
and
deputy auditor.
Yes, correct.
Okay, gotcha. Any other questions?
Make the push.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. We go ahead and approve these 3 job descriptions as you have presented them to us today.
Okay, and then I'll make the change to the description for the chief deputy.
Okay.
And I think with that, once he gets that language in there, then I think it should be fairly simple. We can just do that next week or whatever.
Yep.
Just a line or two.
Gotcha. Okay, anything else, Mark?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, Mark Wynn, happy birthday, buddy. Sorry. The cake wasn't in our budget today, doggone it.
Okay, one subdivision.
49 years old, gosh.
That would be going backwards.
Thank you, Mark.
I don't want to go backwards.
You earned those years.
I did.
You got the scars to prove it.
They're paid for. Okay.
Once I make it.
Just ran in here.
That's what we got.
Well, that's all
You're right.
floodplain.
Is that?
That's flood. So Tyler Bloom,
Doesn't matter what I do.
bought some acreage
Never been in that position before.
and he is
Every day.
simply splitting it
Quite
and
often.
created a new lot. So this was the full lot. And this was all done actually the old way. So this side isn't included. Today, there would be a 2-lot subdivision, but this was just a 1-lot subdivision because he didn't have any sell-offs. They still had to do a subdivision, but it was all done before the end of the year. It's just now coming to you because they
So
finally got
you got
signatures.
this one right here.
Yep, so this came out of this. This over here had nothing to do with it. And he's just taking this piece and making 2 lots. And that's why the new way is so much nicer. They would have surveyed this also, and you'd actually see lot 1, lot 2, and actual acreage for this. But it takes this line and goes straight down like that.
So this home site is up in here somewhere.
Yes, yep, it's in floodplain. It's been there a long time. I didn't permit that.
No, everybody else has approved it.
It's got plenty of acres. I don't even know, there's 9 there, it doesn't even say how much is here, but there's well more than 2 acres.
Yeah, there is.
There was like close to 20, I believe, when he bought it. He doesn't plan on selling it right now, but he had a little bit of a dispute with this guy, so if it continues, he might sell that piece, so he's not his neighbor anymore. He just farms it. I don't know if you know who Tyler Bloom is, that's Dave Bloom's son. He wants to farm it. He actually owns property. He lives somewhere else.
Well, he'd have to sign a release.
That's an Oliver, Jim Oliver. That's who lives in this house. Jim actually sold this to Tyler.
Yeah, we looked at that a few years ago.
Now there's some troubles. They supposedly worked it out, but this still went through.
Okay, well, they met
Don't trust.
criteria, so
Yeah, Geneva used to.
All we did, a 1-lot sub.
need a motion, guys.
Motion.
Second. Motion's made and seconded. We go ahead and approve Tyler C. Bloom subdivision. Tony?
Got it?
It's funny, he didn't take it all the way over though.
He was just splitting it into 2 pieces.
Yeah.
He just, I really think he went one night, I'm just gonna put the line right here. I think that's what he did.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, guys. Get your signature on there.
See, now, this is a subdivision, so that will not be able to be split any further unless they do a major subdivision. Which we do.
I don't have to get much land to build on it.
No, you'd be way up here. Now, here's the setback from the road, that line, so there is space. If somebody chose to.
What
But,
do you do with that?
just keep farming it, I guess.
Yeah.
They don't usually get water. I mean, it shows floodplain, but they say they hardly ever
Is
have
that right?
issues. But it's there.
Okay, very good.
That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
How old are you today?
51.
Oh, I made it one year past the 50, so hey, next stop 60.
At least he didn't say he was 1 card short of a full deck.
Wow.
He just didn't.
More than one. Thank you.
Okay, anything else, gentlemen? Unless you want any reports, so. What? Unless you want any reports. No. All right. No, I'll take a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. We're adjourned.